All right. So thanks again for joining us today. We'd like to first thank our General Manager, Talisa Rhea, our Head Coach, Noelle Quinn, for joining us, and of course, Guard Jewell Loyd. We'll go ahead and hand it off to Talisa to give us a quick opening remarks.
Thanks, Jeff, and thanks everyone for joining. And Jewell, it's great to see you. And for those that don't know, Noe just landed in Japan. It's a little early over there, so good morning to you, Noe, and thanks for jumping on. But really excited to be here. It's been a great few days, kicking off free agency, a lot of excitement around the league, and for us, a lot of really exciting things over these past few days. So we're excited at how our team is shaping up for the 2022 season. Obviously, coming into free agency, having Jewell back in Seattle with us was a top priority. So we really enjoyed that process of getting to work with her. Very thankful that she's back and going to continue to grow with us here in Seattle. And, I think it goes without saying, but Jewell is one of the premier players in our league and has really been playing at an elite level, and has become such a cornerstone basketball-wise, but also just for our organization and in the community. Offensively, so versatile, able to score in multiple ways, has come up clutch so many times for us, game winners, big performances in big games, has really been one of our go-tos. And I think defensively has also really grown and become an elite defender. And we saw that last year, especially in how Jewell improved in that area. But overall, being a first team all WNBA last year, and just the growth that she continues to show, we're really excited that she's going to continue here with us and help lead us back here to Seattle, back to Climate Pledge Arena, and to start the 2022 season off. So can't say it enough, just how important Jewell is to our franchise, how much of a priority it was to keep her here with us in Seattle. And with that, I will pass it over to Coach to say a few words as well.
Thanks, T. Yeah, it's early here, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. Jewell obviously is a cornerstone to our organization. We watched her blossom, right before our eyes, and it's great to see that she's getting the recognition and knowledge, recognition and acknowledgement that she deserves. 2018, very important piece to our championship team. In 2020, just was solid all around. We saw her, develop into an elite defender last year, and just understanding that she works on her game every single year. She deserves this. We honor that, and I'm excited to have her back. We're building around her and Stewie, obviously understanding the pieces that we need to complement them. But what Jewell needs, what Jewell provides for us is just stability on both ends of the floor, an elite scorer, great teammate, and a great leader. So I'm excited to have her back.
Great, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. We'll turn it over real quick to Jewell. Jewell, you want to give us your quick thoughts on resigning here in Seattle?
What's up, everybody? I'm super excited to be back in Seattle. We are trying to put together the best team forward to make sure this year is one that we remember. We're excited. I'm obviously excited to have the big three back together. We're playing and having Sue back and Stewie and everyone we added so far. So I'm excited and ready to get back to work.
Great, thanks, Jewell. Appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand, push the little hand button there on the reactions panel. I will get to as many as we can here in our short allotted time. If you could say who you are and where you represent, that would help us out as well. Let's go ahead and open it up with Kevin Pelton. Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, Jewell, congrats on the new deal. Kevin Pelton, ESPN.com. There was a report that you had met with the Liberty and was curious, first off, is that true? And second off, if so, did that kind of help clarify the decision that you wanted to sign a multi-year contract to stay here?
Yeah, it's true. I went out and talked to them and stuff like that. I was, free agent, so I, had obviously talked to T and everyone here to get approval. I think for me, it's to see my options, to see, what's missing, what I need, and things that are important to me. And this is my first go around in free agency. So I felt like I needed to, go see things. And also I have friends in New York as well. So it was a chance to go see that and then visit my friends out there, but also understand, what's out there. So, I think for me, wherever was the best chance to win a championship, right now, that's kind of where my head was and my mind was. And that's kind of how I went about free agency.
And then to Talisa, what sort of went into the decision on whether to use the core designation on Jewell or Stewie, since you had that choice, and allowing her to make that visit?
Yeah, it's a great question. At the end of the day, we felt like Jewell was a big priority for us. We had a lot of internal conversations about the core. As far as Jewell, talking to other teams, we felt really confident in our relationship with Jewell. The work that we've done over her career here in Seattle, wanted to give her that chance that she spoke about to have those conversations. But really, we're open with her throughout this whole process and really trusted the work that we've done with Jewell and the relationship that, we have and we feel like Jewell has with our entire organization.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. We appreciate it. Larry Stone, go ahead, Larry.
Larry Stone, Seattle Times. Thanks to all of you for doing this. Jewell, you alluded to the big three being back. When last season ended, did you fear that there was a chance that might not happen with Sue maybe retiring and the other, everyone being a free agent? And how happy are you that everyone's back?
Yeah, nothing's really certain until it's, set in stone, until the papers are signed, so I think that's always an option, and that's just the life we live in sports. You never know. Everything's unpredictable. So I think we're all pretty close. So we definitely have been talking through this whole process and trying to figure out what's best for us and best for each individual. And I came in playing, with Sue from day one, and obviously got Stewie. So those are my closest friends. So of course you want to play with your best friends, and that's what we're trying to do. And obviously we want to win together. So, why not stay in Seattle and do that?
Also, where do you feel your game is right now? And, you seem to be right at your peak. Do you feel like there's more growth even to come at your age?
I'm still pretty young. No,
yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
young.
what I mean. Yeah, young enough. Yeah.
And I don't think I'm at my peak at all. I have a lot more to give this game. I'm excited. I feel good. I'm still having a really good offseason right now. So I guess we have to wait and see.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate the questions. And let's go to Howard Megdal. Howard, go ahead.
Thank you. And Jewell, congratulations. Good to chat with you as always. I have one, and then one on behalf of a colleague of mine who's just on a Zoom that's concurrent. The one for me is that you're in a position, obviously, where you've gone through free agency. You're one of several stars on this team. You certainly could go to a number of other teams and be, a clear number one option. I'm just wondering what your thought process was, having gone through this, and, how you feel about the way you want your career to go, balancing those two things for the duration.
That's a good question. I think, right now I'm in the hunt to win more championships. And I want to also be around good people. And I felt like right now and how things are, let's give this a shot. Let's be in Seattle. This is where I've been. This is, obviously with the new gym and arena, our fans, like being back in Seattle is a big factor as well, since we were away in Everett for a little bit. But I think I've put things in place to make sure that I'm going to have a great career, whether that's with, my nutrition, family, friends, obviously with a good organization as well. But, I'm just trying to live in the moment. I'm not trying to think too far ahead, because that's when you lose sight of what's actually in front of you. So I'm going to take advice from Noah and just be present.
Understood. And then my question on behalf of my colleague, Jackie Powell of Bleacher Report, for you and Talisa both, we're coming up on a season now where there's a certain win it for Sue here, in Minnesota, there's a certain win it for Sylvia Fowles. And I just wonder whether you think that the competition that's already been as significant as any league I cover, if it's going to be even greater, this year with a whole lot of people trying to place their final historical markers?
Honestly, I mean, obviously Sue's great, but I play for an audience of one. You know, I gotta play for myself. I gotta play for my family, things like that. It's not really about what media covers. You know, I think in Seattle, what makes us special is that we have a family base in the community and we play for each other, not just one person. You know, I think, you know, everyone has their reasons why they play the game, but it's not just on one person. So that's what's special about the game of basketball.
And Talisa, is that true for you? I mean, does 2022 feel like a window, or does the window feel a little bit bigger than that?
Yeah, I think it's our goal every year to put a product together that's competing for a championship, and sort of that culture that Jewell mentions is our first priority, and having that championship level culture. And with that, you know, the expectation, and we want to put together the most talented, well-rounded roster we can, and a championship, you know, being the goal. But yeah, I think the league is very competitive, and that's, you know, the talent across the league has really grown. It's been exciting these past few years, just, you know, the direction that the league is going as a whole. But I think for us in Seattle, maintaining our culture is the priority. And then, you know, trying to win basketball games and compete at a high level is also a priority.
Thank you both. I'm Howard Magdalt, the next, by the way. I should have said that up top. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Howard.
Thanks, Howard. Appreciate it. Masvita, let's go for Masvita.
Yeah, Masvita Mara Eric, CascadiaSports.net. Thanks, Jeff, and everybody else on the call. So, Lisa, I'll just start with that. Add into the question: how do you keep the championship mentality with the club that you've been able to do that? How have you been able to do that?
Keeping players like Jewell around, that definitely helps. You know, I think we've prioritized ourselves with signing good people, high character players. Our coaching staff now, led by Noelle, really start that at the top. And I feel like, you know, it's my job to help support that and try to foster that positive culture, which really just allows people to be the best versions of themselves. And players like Jewell that are so bought into that and really embody that on a day-to-day basis, it makes it very easy for the rest of our team to follow that. And I think that's been a huge part of our success over these past few years is just maximizing people's experience here, players and staff, and getting the best out of everyone.
And then one more for Coach Quinn. How excited are you about the upcoming season in terms of the team's growth, your growth, and the challenge of winning a championship?
Very excited. I've spent the off season preparing in a lot of ways, whether it's, you know, my professional development, talking to other coaches, scouting, always in the mix, Lisa, talking through our team and keeping in contact with our players. And so, you know, building a team for us, when you have pieces like Jewell, it's not about rebuilding, it's how do you reload. And I think that's, you know, that starts with me and my preparation and making sure that, you know, we hired an amazing staff, but also that, you know, there's another level that this team can get to. And I think that makes this journey even more exciting. So the process has been amazing. My first free agency with Talisa, and understanding how everything works, and, you know, signing Jewell is our priority, and signing our main guys were our priority. So, so far we've done that. And I think there's, you know, lots of room to improve and get better. And I'm just excited about our season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Masvita. Let's go to Jeff Brown, and then Eric Wilson, you'll be next after Jeff.
Hey, Jewell. First, I just wanted to get your take on just kind of the growth of the WNBA's popularity over the recent years, kind of to the point where social media has been really buzzing about player movement, but in turn, it can sometimes kind of create like false narratives or rumors that may not be true. And so I guess just your overall take on all of that.
Yeah, I think that's like the whole controversy on social media, right? Like what's real, what's not. But I think, you know, it's about time that the W gets recognition and players, and, you know, there's talk about it. You look at any of the sports shows on ESPN, they talk about what's going on in the locker rooms in the NBA and all these things. And, you know, I think the more you talk about something, the more people understand what it is, the ins and outs. And so I think, it's good coverage, right? And obviously, like you said, there is obviously a negative side to that of what rumors are and things like that. But I mean, honestly, I'm not on my phone like that, so I'm kind of behind on a lot of things that go on. So I mean, it's part of life, I guess that's where you have to have a good circle around you who knows, who you are, and that matters. And luckily I have a great circle around me, so I don't get caught up in that stuff. So, but you never know. It's just life, and that's kind of what we're all living in right now is, the rise and fall of social media.
Definitely. Thank you. And then a question for Talisa, just curious as the general manager, how do you approach building, the championship team for this year, but also balancing that with like looking at, 2023 and 2024?
Yeah, it's a good question. And sometimes it can be a tough balance. Ideally, you get pieces that you feel like accomplish both of those, win now, build for the future. And so signing multi-year contracts is a way to do that. And then just really trying to balance the pieces that are around our core players and trying to find ways to find contracts that allow us to have that flexibility, and finding good quality players right now that we might have flexibility with next year and the following year, just to give us some options. But it is a hard balance, and players like Jewell that help us do both, and having Jewell here now committed with the Storm is very beneficial in terms of that. But we definitely are trying to do everything we can to put together the most competitive roster right now, but definitely keeping an eye towards the future as well.
Awesome. And then just one real quick one, as kind of your moves this offseason so far with the trade for Gabby and bringing in Breon January, has it been a big emphasis to improve the defense on this team?
Yeah, I think we saw defense and rebounding as a couple of areas that we could really improve. I think we can become more efficient offensively as well, but saw an opportunity to provide some support on that defensive end, get a little bit of a physicality, aggressiveness as well on our roster. We feel like Bree and Gabby bring that for sure, and are really going to complement the other pieces that we have on our roster. Jewell being a key one, at the guard position, and just trying to find players that are versatile, that can play multiple positions. But we did feel like defense and rebounding and kind of that like edge and physicality was something that we were really looking to bring in to our roster.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. We'll go to Eric Wilson and then Megan Price. You'll be up next. Go ahead, Eric.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody. Eric Wilson, WKII and the Sports Arena. So my question is for actually all three of you ladies, general manager, coach, and a key player. Yesterday was National Girl and Women in Sports Day, and I just want to know if each of you could take a moment and just share the impact that you all have had, not only in the WNBA, but just being synonymous with powerful women in this space.
Jewell, you want to go first? Yeah, I can start. I feel just in general, sports has provided so much for me in my life. All of my closest friends have come through relationships from playing sports. A lot of opportunities in my life have come through sports. And I just feel like it provides a sense of community and a space for opportunities for, individuals that might not have those opportunities otherwise, whether it's going to school or, earning money to play a professional sport, or now working in the front office or head coach, whatever it is. I think sports are an incredibly uniting area, and I feel very fortunate to still be involved. I think, being alongside Noelle now in this process, and just the Storm organization actually as a whole, and how much of a priority that is, and how many women we have in leadership positions. I feel very fortunate for that. I think National Women and Girls in Sports Day is, really exciting to really highlight some of those stories. But I think at the Storm, we really try to make that a priority year round, and continue to provide those opportunities and celebrate girls and women in sports. I'll turn it over to Jewell.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, it's understanding that, seeing people like you in positions of, power or leadership it's something that I love to see, and something that, seeing honestly Noe as a Black young female and a head coach is like amazing. And knowing that my niece who knows Noe, it's like, I can do that too. It's like the best part is knowing that it's not just for us, but the next generations after us. And that's kind of how, I understand and see it, just knowing that I'm able to be here because someone else did it before me and I could pass that down. So, right now, thank you, Noe, thank you, T, thank you, the Storm, to allow people that look like me to be in positions of leadership. And I appreciate that a lot.
That's well said, Jewell. I don't take this for granted. I think the opportunity to be a woman, a Black woman in a leadership role doesn't come around a lot. And you guys have heard me speak on this. And so I operate in a space of just gratefulness to have an opportunity. And what sport has provided for me is an opportunity to not only play, but now coach amazing players like Jewell, be around amazing women in power like Talisa, and as well as our ownership group, we're all women. But I think it's important to understand when you're in a role like we are in, that we have an obligation and responsibility to be leaders for our younger generation and to show them the way. And I think that's what I'm most pleased with, is just the opportunity for me to be a light toward others and be a great example toward other generations who may one day be in my position as well.
Thank you all, ladies, and best of luck this season.
Thanks, Eric, and great question. Appreciate it. Let's go to Megan, and then Shai, you'll be up after that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Megan Price with 806 Sports and Sideline Sports. First off, congrats on re-signing Jewell. And this question is for Coach Quinn or Talisa. After free agency, draft comes really quick, and it's a stacked draft class. Can you tell us what type of player you'll be looking to add with what you've already built?
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. We actually traded away our first round pick this morning in exchange for Gabby, which moves us down a little bit. We do have a few second round picks as well. So I think, we're going to be looking for players that we feel like are well-rounded, are going to work hard and come in and make a really good impact on our training camp. And of course, always invite competition for roster spots. But I think we'll just look at our roster once it's finalized and find, positions and work through best available players and position needs for training camp, but really just players that are going to be a good fit with our culture, going to come in, work hard, really challenge the players that we do have. And I think it's a great opportunity, to bring in some young talent, to get to know them a little bit, have them get to know us a little bit. So that'll be our approach to the draft as of now. And of course, things can always change.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and good luck on your upcoming season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Appreciate it. Shai, go ahead. Michael Burns, you'll be up next.
Hi, everyone. Shai Mamou for Swish Swish in France. Jewell, congrats on the new deal. With this new interest from fans for free agency, I wanted to know if you were like all of us all day long on Twitter, waiting for the next breaking news. And I also wanted to know what your thoughts were on Brianne January and Gabby Williams, your new teammates.
Honestly, I think my mom was probably on social media more than I was, checking in and hitting the group chat than me. Honestly, I've just been trying to be focused on other stuff and not get caught up in that, because it's just draining at times. But I'm excited for Bree and Gabby. Bree has made some of my life kind of hard over the years. She's a great defender, and actually she's maybe a lot better. I don't think she even realized, the times I put in the work to try to make sure that, when I play her, I'm ready for it. Now that she's with me, I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, T. Thank you, Noe. So I'm excited though. She brings a different toughness to us, and obviously she's super experienced, and she knows what it takes to win. And we need that balance for sure. And Gabby's a crazy athlete. I loved her game in college. She's been playing amazing, obviously with France too. And I'm excited to see her versatility and just kind of see her blossom with us. And we like to get up and down the floor, and she definitely has that flavor for us. And she also likes to jump, so like maybe our oops will come back this year too. So I'm excited to get on the floor with them and kind of get going.
Oh, thanks a lot, Shai. I appreciate it. Let's go over to Michael Burns, and then Christos, you'll wrap us up.
Hey, thanks everybody. Michael Burns here with Hoop Social. A couple of questions for Jewell. First of all, I wanted to, obviously we've all known about the scoring since day one, but last year posted a career high in assists per game and rebounds per game, and also total steals. So I was curious, is that something that you continue to pour into in your off-season training? Is that something that you want to continue to improve on this season?
Yeah, definitely. I think I put a big emphasis on just being a great defender. I think that's what our team needed definitely last year. And obviously I want to just don't make it a 1-year season thing. I want to continue with, how I play on both ends. And I think I am a two-way player. Obviously because I score, I don't think people talk about my defense enough, but anything to help us win and be competitive on the defensive end, that's what I want to do. And to be honest, I have not worked on a lot on defense during my offseason. But that's, I feel like that comes naturally just playing against guys and stuff like that. So hopefully it is better, but I can't really work on rebounding with these guys because they're all bigger than me. But that's something I'm definitely watching on film and stuff, figuring out little tricks of the trade to get better, and talking to some guys over here that have been really good defenders. So I'm looking to, I'm trying to make all defensive team. That's something I want to do. So hopefully that happens in my future. But if not, I'll take a championship as well.
It's a great goal. Thanks for that. And one last one, a real hard hitter. I need to know more about the IG story bike check-in. When did this start? Is this something that's going to continue during the season? And is this group going to expand beyond the three of you guys and Alicia?
It's like an inside joke, but clearly it's not because it's not on social media. But I honestly hate the bike. It's terrible, but you got to be smart with your body. So we challenge each other to kind of stay active. And obviously we still have a great bond with AC and Stewie, all of us. So, that's something we do just to, laugh it up a little bit. But I don't think any of us actually like the bike.
Awesome. Thanks. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Let's go over to Christos. Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Christos Chalthis, Greece. Hope we're doing well. Jewell, question for you. That the new contract with the Storm, what it means for you, how big is the responsibility to help the team to win a championship again?
I think obviously it's a great contract, and something that my dad just walked in, but he always says, every time someone gets paid big money, they never perform. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And that's something we always talk about. And so if my mindset is like, it's not about the money, I want to play with this joy. And honestly, I didn't have that best of joy last season. So I have that joy now coming into the season. That's what I want to play with, because that's how I play my best. And I think that's what's going to lead to us, being a contender to win a championship, is all of us finding this joy and this peace and this happiness to be around each other and compete on the floor. And then, that's like what makes it sweet. And so that's kind of just in my mind. Obviously I'm super blessed to have the contract and knowing, what that brings to my family and things I need. But I want to play happy basketball. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. And I think we could do that this year.
Thank you very much. And one question for you, Talisa. What is the biggest upgrade that you're looking for the upcoming season, and how satisfied you are about the moves during the free agency?
Yeah, I think we obviously had a priority of bringing back the core group, most of which were free agents from last year. So, re-signing Jewell, obviously, but Stewie, Mercedes, and then really just finding ways to build around them and feel like we are putting the best complements to those players and what they bring. So finding guards that are able to get out and run with Jewell and take some pressure off of her defensively and complement what she's able to do. That was really important to us. Having a backup point guard in Tasu with Bree and what she brings. It was also, we felt like Bree brings a versatility to do that at the backup point guard spot, but can also play off ball, is, really efficient offensively. But that was our goal, was to bring back our core. That was our priority going into free agency. We weren't looking to, shake it up too much, but we felt like there was areas we could improve. And we feel like we've done that through adding Bree and Gabby. And I think it will complement our group really well.
All right, we have time for a couple questions real quick before we go. Larry and Howard, did you have follow-up questions you wanted to go? Howard, go ahead and just do one real quick, and then I'll follow up with Larry. We'll close this out.
Appreciate that very much. This one, Jewell, is just for you, and it kind of touches on what we were just talking about with the core. With Sue being in her last year and Brianna Stewart signing for a one-year deal, for you to put down, relatively speaking, roots by signing a multi-year deal. I'm just wondering if you could take me through. It feels like a very bold step, sort of how you came to that decision specifically.
I think going through the whole free agency process, talking to a lot of people, a lot of WNBA players and all these other things, I think I realized that people want to play with me. I never really had to think about that until now, where I think I had a chance to see what my value is on the other side. When you're talking to other GMs, things, they tell you that you're like, what? Because I'm not, thinking like that. But also know that, Seattle is a special place in my heart for sure. As I grew up there, my first time living by myself in Seattle, things like that. And I think with what we're doing right now, we're building on something. And like I said, I'm trying to win. And so if we build the right team together, we have a chance to do that. And that's something that's, that's what we play for right now. And that's what we're hunting for, to bring that, championship back to Seattle. So everything kind of just made sense. And honestly, I have a great respect for Noe. I believe in her, and I'm here with her. I understand what she's trying to build and trying to do, and that's kind of just where my loyalty stands right now. And I'm very appreciative to be back in Seattle and trying to get this, another ring.
Thanks, Jewell. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Howard. And Larry, why don't you go ahead and wrap us up for today?
Yes, this is for Talisa. Once you made the decision to give the core tag to Jewell, did you have any fear of losing Brianna, particularly when there were rumors of her being wooed by another team? How did you view that situation?
Yeah, similar to what I said about Jewell earlier, we feel like we have a great relationship with Stewie. We feel very good about her experience here in Seattle so far, and the conversations that we had with her. And so we felt confident, we felt optimistic that she was going to return. And it really, I think knowing the relationship that Noe and Stewie have, that Jewell and Stewie have, really like our whole group, and wanting to be in it together. We had a lot of trust in those relationships, and we've been, at this for a few years now all together. And so just really tried to rely on those relationships and the work that we've done year over year, and the success that we've had, and felt like that would give us a really good chance to keep our group together.